everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Vampyr. So in today's episode we're going to talk to Dr. Swansea first, and then we're going to go meet Lady Ashbury at her mansion, which is in the West End. And apparently she's given us a pass, which is useful that we can get through any quarantine zone, so we can now go anywhere we want, I'm pretty sure. Which is useful. Hey Swansea, what up?
Johnathan, old chap, how are you tonight? I've seen little of you of late.
I was conducting research in my room, away from the nightly routines.
Of course, of course. Worry not, I understand. The situation has been testy around here. I won't deny it, but we still stand.
Help in the West End.
Have you any reliable friends in the West End who might assist me?
Unfortunately, you will be alone. Except for our ravishing red-headed acquaintance, of course.
Where is the Brotherhood?
What about the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole? Where are they?
There are only a few of us, and most others would not speak to you. I am the black sheep of our brotherly flock, you know.
Interesting. Edgar considers himself a maverick among the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole. Because he associates with vampires so much, I guess? It's not entirely clear to me why that is, but I cured pretty much everybody I could here, except for him. Excuse me. Tempting to cure him, but I'm not going to, and everyone here is fine, everyone here is fine.
What of my commission here at Pembroke Hospital?
Nothing to fear, Johnathan. Your position here is in no jeopardy. You remain one of us, and you are always most welcome.
What news do you bring?
The news is not good, my friend. We try to keep the epidemic at bay, but street violence is escalating quickly.
How bad is the epidemic?
It is killing the infected patients faster, in less than 2 days now. The only blessing is that they're contagious for a shorter period.
Tell me more about the violence.
Geoffrey McCallum seems to have sent his war dogs on a hunt. On a nightly basis, Pre-Wen patrols exterminate every skull and vampire they find.
Have they come closer to the hospital?
No. They mainly focus on fallen districts or abandoned buildings. But they're growing in numbers. They must be recruiting heavily.
Interesting. And recruiting heavily would imply that they're probably moving to maybe an offensive on the hospital, actually. Or an offensive against the Brotherhood of St... What is it? Brotherhood of St. Paul, Joseph, Stoll, Peter? I don't know, I can't remember. The Brotherhood, essentially. They're probably going to attack the Brotherhood.
I have received an alarming letter from Lady Ashbury. She wants me to meet her at her house. I have been granted safe passage.
Then you are twice fortunate. I have never been invited to the lady's mansion. And with the quarantine and controls, city access is nigh impossible.
He wants to get that vampire pussy, I'm just saying it.
Is the quarantine serving any purpose?
It is helping slow the propagation of the epidemic. But as long as we have no clue to its origin, its efficiency is limited.
Why have you never entered the lady's house? You are one of her good friends, are you not?
My dear Johnathan, you have no idea how reclusive the good lady normally is, nor in what great esteem she must hold you to let you into her domain.
Thank you, Edgar. We shall speak again later.
We're the Chad. Edgar's a nice guy. Alright, so... we're gonna go to Lady Ashbury's house. Now, accidentally, at the end of last episode, I walked over a bridge that was heading towards West End, and in doing so, we got a cutscene. So at the very, very end of the last episode, if you want to go back and have a look at that, we got spoken to by our patron, I assume. This bridge is going to be the easiest to get over there, isn't it? Yeah, then I can kind of straight across, then left, I guess. But the weird, bloody... I mean, vision, I guess, would be the best way of describing it. Vision of my vampire maker kind of appeared before me. think I've killed everything through here. Yeah, it looks like it. So I'm not too worried. I haven't slept since I killed everything in all these paths when I was running around. But this bridge here, we walked up here and we got a cutscene, which is at the end of the previous episode. I managed to get the recording started again when it happened. Luckily. Finsbury Gate. Now obviously I'm going to search everything here for cigarettes. There's some skull over there. I don't know what happened there. Cool. Kill some vampires. Actually, this is where I came. Yeah, okay, I know where this is. I already came here. I actually walked through this route because this is where I followed like the blood trail. But now I can go this way, I think. Hello?
They want war. I'll show them war.
Whatever this poor woman did, nobody deserves this kind of punishment.
Huh. Interesting. There's actually all-out war going on. Vampires killing Prewin. Presumably, I mean, I guess technically in a retaliatory strike, because the Prewin are the one killing them. This is where we followed Mary. Interesting. Do I go up this way again? I think this takes me in the direction I don't want to go necessarily. Yeah, this takes me in the wrong direction. I don't want to go this way. This is the way we followed Mary. This way is probably the right way. New hideout, sweet. What's this? Vampire Club. Do you think vampires hide in the dodgy areas and the hovels of London? No. They hide in the highest clubs and fancy houses of the West End. I know for a fact that some of them rule the empire in secret. They have a club. They have public figures. They have balls and fancy parties. They aim to control the countries and our destinies. We must reveal them for what they are, greedy enemies of mankind, born into this world to bring us all into the eternal darkness of hell. You know them, but you don't dare to pronounce their names. I will soon, and everybody in London will know the name of the Vampire Club. Clarence Crossley. For more information, please contact me directly. Interesting. I guess that kind of makes sense. Immortals would tend to control more of the areas, I suppose. It's the idea of similar to like in the Blade series, like the vampires are the upper echelons of society.
I cannot enter.
Well, that's annoying. Why? I thought that was going to be a nice shortcut through for me, but apparently not. What I really need is uncommon handle parts, because that will upgrade my weapon to the highest rank. I actually have upgraded it a bit. I can't remember whether I showed you this or not. So it's now level 4, which is one off being maximum. It has a lot more stun points, and it takes less stamina to use now, which is good. So can I not just, like, run through this shit? Oh, I can. Okay. There's a vampire over there. There's a Prewin here. I kind of want to go here last. I want to, like, move up and, like, search all this shit and then come down to a estate. Because I'm just like that. It looks like there's only one guy there. Which makes me want to stun him. One guy by himself should be fairly easy.
You're mine.
He poisoned me, which sucks, but again, fairly easy. So this should be the other entrance.
It's locked.
Interesting. It is the other entrance again, sorry for those lights, but I can't actually unlock it. Pre-win rookie.
It's one of them.
I don't mind helping the vampires in this feud war, to be honest. The pre-win are kind of indiscriminately murdering them. I mean, the Scowl, I get. The Scowl are kind of... A lot of them, at least, are like rabid, so they're running around murdering people willy-nilly. In which case, sure, pre-win, go kill them. You're protecting people at that point. But there seems to also be a lot of... See, he's a vampire, right? I think he'll talk to me, because he talked to me before. Rogue Ekon, are you gonna kill me?
Are you from Ascalon?
Oh, interesting. Ow. Interesting. Biting doesn't do a hell of a lot to him, which makes sense. He has a sword, which is cool. Rogue Ekon. He was the one who killed that woman. By the look of it, or at the very least, he looked very similar to the one who killed that woman. There's a rogue Volkid. He's fucking murdering these guys. If I can get a stun on the Volkid, I will. They're almost like gorillas. He took a while to die. I'm now... Upgrading my weapon, by the way, has made a massive difference to combat. It's made it so much easier. Interesting. So I want to kind of search as much of this area as I can, and maybe even go into West End if I can pull it off. I guess I'll search all of this area, and then I'll go talk to ASHBURY, because she'll probably send me to West End. Likely what's going to happen, if I were to guess. Pre-win over there. I'll kill you later. Pre-win here, too.
It's an angel! Kill it! It's a killer! Shit, that angel's
Interesting, they all have different abilities. He had blood spear. The other one didn't. That's really cool. Side note. So this is the way to West End. I don't necessarily want to go this way yet. I don't even know if I can, technically. This way will take me to her house, which again, I don't necessarily want to go there yet. I always want to explore everything first. Also, we're nearly at 15 minutes. Well, we're already over 15 minutes. It's insane. It's going to be a very combat-heavy episode, I think. That also kind of heads to West End. I'm interested whether I can go through here. Apparently
I
not.
cannot enter.
I assume she'll give me a key that'll allow me to go into all these places. The priest over here. That's not what I wanted to do. He can see me, but at the same time, if I sneak up to him...
Stop that fire! Lord, give us strength!
Ow. Alright, fuck you all.
Oh my god!
That didn't work out how I wanted it to, but you know, whatever. I can heal. Right. So this way should actually take me up. This should open a shortcut, I think, if I come up this way. So I'm gonna come up this way. I think this will open a shortcut between Whitechapel and West End. If I would hazard a guess. Yep, totally. So I now have that door unlocked. Okay, so that's from that bridge. Alright, that'll help. Actually, that'll help quite considerably. It's a good shortcut to have. I'm glad I opened that. I need uncommon handle parts. Or good handle parts? I think they're good handle parts is what they're called. Alright, now I guess I want to go to Ashbury, which is going to be this way, and then to the right. I like the fact that there's like all-out war going on right now. It's very cool. This. Still looking for handle parts. That's all I care about, handle parts. Because if I can get my weapon upgraded one more time, it's going to increase the damage actually, like, fairly noticeably. I may as well kill these guys. 13 seconds. One, and murder. There's a vampire in this wall.
You!
Good trigger part. No, trigger part I don't need. I need handle part. God damn it. Okay, so that's where I first came in from. Okay. So Lady Ashbury's mansion is right here. And I think I killed everyone in the area too.
This is where she lives. What a splendid house.
Not bad. I mean, for the center of London, it's fucking amazing, but... What a mansion.
Dr. Reid, welcome. How are you?
As good as one can be, considering the circumstances.
Yes. Death and affliction seem prevailing themes of late. Please, come in. We have much to discuss.
I hope I haven't disturbed you.
Not at all. Actually, I was counting on you visiting me tonight.
How strange, this painting. Beautiful, melancholic, yet with a haunting dignity.
Indeed. A long time ago, a friend asked me to paint this for him, but I kept it in the end.
I did not know you were a painter, my lady.
There are many things you do not know about me, young Ekon.
Please, call me Johnathan.
Please excuse my behavior, Johnathan. I tend to tease my friends when uneasy.
What is bothering you, my lady? Your letter was quite alarming.
We will talk about this in a few minutes. For now, I would like you to tell me about yourself. How have you been since we last met, my friend?
She keeps emphasizing the my friend bit. We haven't, like, spoken to each other enough for me to consider her a friend, per se. Like, I'm certainly friendly with her, and I'm almost at the stage of considering her a friend. I tend to consider people friends fairly quickly. But there's something about the way she's emphasizing it, and it could be just that the game's not particularly good at sort of coalescing the fact that she's supposed to be a friend, and I mean, it's originally in French, so that could be a translation issue. Or I may be reading into it correctly, in that she's trying to push that narrative so that we'll do something for her.
I came to the conclusion that my maker, whoever he might be, must be a powerful vampire. Certainly extremely old.
How have you reached this conclusion?
I felt this power radiating like an aura every time he appeared.
Most ancestral vampires of England were killed by the Guard of Priwen half a century ago. I wonder who your maker could be.
You have no idea who he could be?
Some of the ancient ones fled England. Some may still be in hiding. All I know is you, my friend, are a pawn in some secret and obscure game of chess.
He is the only immortal I've seen appear in an ethereal form. His voice, his words seemed ancient. It was disturbing.
I am afraid you are right. The simple fact that your blood made Mary such a strong Ekon proves that you must be of ancient lineage.
Interesting. I should have done the other one first, because that's a weird discontinuity. Like, she didn't know this yet, but...
My sister Mary, she was made a vampire in the same way I was. She was the one killing all those people everywhere I went.
Vengeance is a powerful force for those betrayed. Made vampire through careless error. Victims by surprise.
In the end, she implored me to put an end to her misery. But still, I felt I had taken her life twice.
I am so sorry for my accidental cruelty. Had I known your dear Mary was still alive, I would never have sent you to pray for her soul in that church.
There is no need to apologize, my lady. Your words have been most helpful in these difficult times.
Thank you, my friend. If only we could have guided your poor sister through her terrible nightmare.
I mean, I think praying for her at the church was still relevant. Because Mary as an Ekon wasn't the same woman. It changed her irrevocably. Johnathan... I mean, I was about to say Johnathan doesn't seem that changed, but I've only ever seen him as an Ekon, so it's hard to say, really.
I swear I did not intend that. If only I had known then how vampires are created.
That is the scientist speaking. In truth, most of us do not know how it really works. Personally, I make sure my prey will not return to haunt me.
What do you mean?
I am merciless, Johnathan. I only feed on the dying, and I make sure they are dead before leaving their remains.
Fair enough.
I think I should ask the questions, your ladyship. After all, it was you who invited me to settle this most urgent of matters.
Fair enough, Jonathan. The situation is critical. We do not have the luxury for etiquette.
Please do not misunderstand me. I would be delighted to discuss mundane matters and idle trivialities.
If we survive the dark nights to come, we shall have all the time in the world to speak, you and I. For now, please follow me, Jonathan.
I must say, your house is exquisite.
One of the advantages of living forever is having the time to be selective with one's furnishings. I took the liberty of having tea served.
You can still drink tea.
Can't keep it down, but I do so enjoy the aroma. Let us toast to make-believe. And of course, to your health, Jonathan.
And to yours, my lady.
A lack of
Please,
taste would suck.
Call me Elizabeth.
So, my lady, why truly did you invite me here?
I've been asked to deliver an official invitation to meet the Ascalon Club.
Who are they?
Who are they? Really?
They are the embodiment of vampire law in Britain. Some say they influence the destiny of the Empire. Some believe they merely protect it.
How many are they?
Only a small number of powerful and deceitful immortals. All of them entangled in a sticky web of shadow cabinets, influencing trade.
Will they fight the guard of Priwen?
I doubt it. Fergal was Lord Redgrave's executioner forever and a day. By defeating that beast, you deprived them of a powerful weapon.
Interesting.
Why use you to contact me?
Because they know we are close. The Ascalon Club has many spies. Their main occupation is gathering information and then deciding how to use it.
Makes sense. They're essentially like a spy organization, or a surreptitious government, a shadow government.
Have they threatened you in any way?
Not at all. Their message surprised me at first. But it is only logical, considering the critical situation in London.
Why not ask for your help? Since you are obviously a powerful and influential immortal yourself.
You have to understand that I am invisible to the eyes of Ascalon, for I am a woman. That suits me well, as long as they leave me alone.
Interesting. It's patriarchal. I kind of figured that wouldn't matter in a situation where you've got vampires who are all like superpowered, but I suppose... Because if they're... I guess they're looking for... I mean, social power would make a difference anyway. I guess it's just a product of the time. It's just weird to me. Immortality would figure would get rid of that kind of prejudice, but I guess not really. There's no real reason why it would.
Should I trust them?
Of course not. Do not misunderstand me. They can be very useful, but I believe their long-term goals differ from yours.
Why meet them then?
Because nothing truly important can be achieved in this city without their consent. They could be powerful allies in this current situation.
Very specific there. Powerful allies in this current situation.
Should I lie to them?
We all lie, Jonathan. It falls to you to choose your behavior. The most important rule is to show them due respect.
Okay, easy enough.
They have done nothing but impede my investigations since I became known to them. Why would they want to see me now?
I guess they now see you as Ascalon material. They must have found out what happened to your sister. Proof of the potent blood flowing through your veins.
I'm not sure I can accept their invitation. I have seen their handiwork. How Fergal the Beast imposed the club's law.
You have no choice, Jonathan. Even I would not openly defy Lord Redgrave, the chairman of the Ascalon Club.
So he's the chairman, and I killed his dog of war.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave? Who is he?
Lord Redgrave is the founder and chairman of the Ascalon Club. Most mortals know him as the Earl of Bristol. He is rich and extremely influential.
Have you met him?
Only on rare occasions, for he never goes outside the club. And women are not awarded membership, even immortals.
How old is he? How long has he been a vampire?
Lord Redgrave claims to be the progeny of William Marshall, the most valiant knight who ever lived. If that is true, he could be very old.
Interesting. She clearly doesn't believe it.
How powerful is his reach?
The Ascalon Club may be the most influential secret society in England. Not all its members are immortals, but they are all very powerful.
Interesting. Not all immortal.
They are not all immortals. How is that?
The club is mainly comprised of political figures who seek the safety and expansion of the Empire. The most loyal are awarded immortality.
Makes sense.
Any familiar or famous names?
As the richest, most relentless British tycoon, Aloysius Dawson is considered ideal Ascalon material and has been watched for years.
Interesting.
If you are convinced I must meet him, I will heed your advice.
Thank you, Johnathan. I understand your reluctance to brush shoulders with London's vampire elite. But we have no choice.
Is the situation that critical?
Yes.
Of course it is.
The Guard of Prewen has called for a second great hunt of our kind. And they will stop at nothing to eliminate us.
Will the Guard of Prewen and the Ascalon Club fight each other?
I doubt it. If Prewen really launched a great hunt,
And
I
run.
think most of the Ekons I know would flee the country to escape the bloodbath.
It's really weird to me that they would do that. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean, they've survived as long as they have because of secrecy, and if you go to an all-out war, you run the chance of breaking that secrecy. But the vampires are so much more powerful than the Prewen. Like, individually. Like, one vampire, I mean, we saw there, that Volkod easily destroyed all the Prewen. One vampire can easily take on 4, 5 Prewen at a time. So, sure, they're going to be outnumbered, but they're not going to be outnumbered by that much, I can't imagine. It's weird that they would choose to flee.
I think I saw them kill an Ekon on the way to your house. They seem to have a list with names.
To launch another great hunt, they must have collected intelligence on vampire identities and whereabouts. They are a resourceful lot.
Well, what was interesting was, when we walked in on the leader of the Guard of Prewen, he was having a discussion with, shit, what's his name? The leader of the hospital. I just had a mind blank, I can't remember his name. But he was having a meeting with the Prewen leader. We walked in and he turned around and immediately said, "Shit, you've got one working for you." Like, he just knew I was a vampire by looking at me. There's something going on with the leader of the Prewen, I think.
Should we fight back? I will not be hunted down like an animal again.
I admire your courage, Johnathan. But the best way to fight them is to put an end to the epidemic. This is the only way to clear the air.
I suppose another way of looking at it is if you're an immortal being hunted by mortals, running away is a fairly good strategy because you can just run away and wait for all the fuckers to die and then just move back. I mean, you live forever. Time is something that you have that they don't. It's something that's probably worth taking use of. Because if you can run away from them, even if they chase you, you can run away from long enough that they'll die eventually.
What is a great hunt?
The first great hunt was launched about 75 years ago. In just a few nights, the Guard of Prewen located and destroyed most of the old British vampires.
Why start a second one?
Prewen has always seen us immortals as a threat to mankind. My guess is they suspect one or more of us is the cause of the epidemic.
It might be, looking at everything that we've seen so far.
How did you survive the first hunt?
I fled, Jonathan. Like most vampires who survived that slaughter. And I secretly came back when I was sure they had lost my trail.
You should flee then. Leave London, the country even. I have seen the Guard in action. They are merciless.
Your concern warms my heart, Jonathan. But fear not. If the situation gets too dangerous, I shall retreat to my secret Scottish manor. I could hide you in my luggage, if you wish.
Thank you for the offer. I shall keep it in mind, but I have much to do here. There is a question I must ask you. Could Lord Redgrave be my maker?
I doubt it. If Lord Redgrave had made you his progeny, he would not have seemed so surprised when you demonstrated the strength of your lineage.
Fair point.
What is the plan?
The plan is we both try to save this city, you and I. Go to Ascalon, accept their proposition, and use their influence to promote your agenda.
How can I save London?
Beating the epidemic.
Epidemic is the priority. You must find its origin and put an end to it. This is the best way to solve the crisis.
Interesting. It implies there is an origin. If this epidemic, this epidemic seems to be a huge spread of skull, is what it seems to be. And that seems to mix in with the already pretty shitty epidemic of the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu doesn't really have a source. It had a source, but finding that now is irrelevant. It doesn't stop it. You need to do quarantines and cure people and find an actual cure for the flu. I guess the source of the epidemic really is looking for the source of this massive sort of rogue skull problem.
What will you do?
I still have contacts and old friends in this town. I shall make some inquiries and attempt to learn more of the situation. We need clarity.
Will I ever discover the identity of my maker?
Maybe not, Jonathan. We know for sure you were made by a powerful vampire, but most of those fled England long ago.
I don't think so.
Please forgive my bluntness, but I have to ask. Was it you? Did you make me?
Oh, Jonathan. I know you shall always have a gnawing doubt about who made you an immortal. But I swear, I had nothing to do with it.
I'll take that. At the start of that sentence I was unsure whether she was going to actually directly answer that question, but she did. I'll accept it at face value for now.
You have no idea at all? You seem to know so many things about the secrets of the vampire underworld.
Even if I had my suspicions, I would not dare give you a name so soon. All I can say is this. I will make inquiries and keep you informed.
Fair enough. I can accept that.
One day soon, I will have to find the answer to this mystery.
And I shall help you in your research, I promise. For now, you must go to the Ascalon Club and play their game.
Will I see you again at the Pembroke Hospital?
No, you will find me here if you need me. I shall conduct inquiries alone, and we can then share our discoveries.
Will you not visit Pembroke again?
No. I must remain discreet and avoid attracting attention to Pembroke Hospital for the time being.
Okay.
But how will you sustain yourself?
I shall not, Jonathan. Fear not. I'm used to it.
Interesting.
When will we meet
Starvation.
As soon as you meet Lord Redgrave, I suppose. Fear not, my dear. I shall only be a heart's beat away.
again? I want to thank you for all your support and your help, my lady.
Could you do me a last great favor and call me Elizabeth?
I should be honored, my lady.
Then it is settled. Finally, some good news in these dark hours.
Thank you. I appreciate the advice. I had best prepare myself to meet this Lord Redgrave now.
How thrilling to meet the Earl of Bristol in the flesh, so to speak.
Something tells me you're not very keen on the man.
Don't get me wrong. The gentlemen of the Ascalon Club are honorable, but their attitude and opinions are somewhat antiquated.
I see.
As long as they deny access to female applicants, I will leave them to their antediluvian considerations as to the natural order of things. Jonathan, promise me you'll be careful.
Of course. But why the fear in your voice?
Look at me, Jonathan.
I am.
I mean, really look at me, young Ekon. We may be deceptive by nature, but this heart of mine has always told the truth.
Elizabeth.
Go, my friend. But come back to me soon.
Interesting. I still have this... She might be genuine, but there's this inkling in the back of my head that she's fucking playing me. Just this inkling in the back of my head. She's trying to manipulate me. As long as she's doing it, realize why she's doing it, I'm gonna have this sneaking mistrust of her the entire time, I think. Shadow Cabinet. Meet Ascalon Club leader and gain his trust. Lady Ashbury has informed me that Lord Redgrave, immortal chairman of the powerful Ascalon Club, has requested my presence. Elizabeth thinks their sudden interest for me is related to the strong Ekon my sister became after I had bitten her. Somehow it proved my high vampire lineage, and the Ascalon Club is nothing if not very attached to pedigree. According to her, I must accept their invitation and play their game as long as it serves my interests. I shall follow her advice and present myself before Lord Redgrave as soon as possible. So that is something we're going to do next time. I got a bunch of experience for that too. So the main area of West End. I think next episode is going to be West End, full exploration, then go to where we need to go. Whew. There's a lot of stuff to explore here. You can go down, up, check all this shit. Come down here, check all this shit. Check that. Check all this. Check all this. This is all stuff I haven't been to either, I don't think. So there's a lot of stuff I can check out in the West End, and that's going to be next time. I can talk to Dr. Swansea and Lady Ashbury again. I'm going to talk to Lady Ashbury right now. We're sitting at 43 minutes, but fuck it. I have another conversation with her, apparently. I was just talking through a loading screen and I realized that my recording fucks up when I do that. So if there's some cutting and shitty recording there... I realized that last episode. In fact, I can loot her shit. Goddamn. Just let me loot all your shit real quick, Lady Ashbury. Yoinked. 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 Personal diary. God damn it. Where would this be? In inventory? Yeah. 9th May 1913. Tonight I went with Mother visiting the sick of the East End. It had been a long time since I went to the sad part of town. To see her talking and listening to those poor people moved me beyond words. She really tries to make a difference, and really tries to help those men and women. She also killed one of them tonight. It happened so quickly I did not even notice she had vanished, but when she reappeared, she looked so much more alive, more vivid. I immediately know what had just happened. She took a life and I saw nothing. We returned home without a word. If I ever became like her, I won't feed on the dying. I will kill the guilty and the brutes wherever they hide. Interesting, her mother was turned into a vampire, but she was not. Huh. 13th September 1914. So what, 2 years later? 1 year later? 1 year later. This afternoon, 2 men tried to corner me in a back alley while I was campaigning for the women's right to vote. I called for help as loud as I could, like Mother told me. I don't know what would have happened if a soldier had not ordered them to leave me alone. He then walked me back home and tried to kiss me. I refused. He did not say a word and left. The whole story made me so sad I was still crying. When Mother woke up after the night had come, I told her the whole truth and she held me against her chest. Then we went to the theatre to see Doris Fletcher in her new play. Interesting. I think I'm a little bit frustrated that Mother did not rush out to make them all pay. If I were a vampire, I would not be that merciful. Interesting. Make them all pay, including the soldier. I mean, the soldier didn't necessarily do anything wrong. Depends how forcefully he tried to kiss her, I suppose. He didn't say a word and left. Yeah. The other guys assholes, but... 15th, 1914, same year. We had a terrible argument with Mother last night, as she refused once again to turn me into an immortal. When I reminded her that what had happened to me in that street with those two men, and how things could have been different if I had been like her, or if they had carried weapons, she simply smiled and told me that to be part of this world meant to be ready to face it. I'm not sure I understand what she means, but it drives me crazy. I left home in the middle of the night to see Emily at her house, and I spent the whole day there. Maybe it's time for me to leave Mother's house and live my life, just like Emily. I love Mother so much, but it frustrates me when she refuses to talk about my conversion. 17th of February 1915. Tonight, I'm as sad as I am excited, for I'm about to leave this house for good. Mother has agreed to let me... How many days was that? It's like half a year later. Tonight I'm so sad as I am excited, for I'm leaving this house for good. Mother has agreed to let me have my own flat in the West End, as long as it's not too far from her house. I had to promise her I would be very careful. I told her how much I love her, and she told me that she was proud of me. I understand now that she only wants me to be as strong and independent as she is. I must admit, I am very thankful for all she has taught me through these years. She has made the woman I am today. Now it's time for me to choose where I go from here. Whatever I'm going to do with my life, it's up to me. All I know is this: if I ever choose to become an immortal, I will not involve my mother in my choice. For this is my life, and I'm responsible for my actions. Interesting. The lesson to learn. Charlotte Ashbury. Oh! I thought this was... Oh, that makes a lot more sense. The years make more sense to me now. So that's actually Elizabeth Ashbury's daughter. Fuck. Alright then. Goddamn. I was thinking that was Elizabeth's diary talking about her mother, but the years didn't add up in my head. I didn't really understand how the years worked there. So that makes a lot more sense. She has a daughter. To the inspiring Lady Ashbury, there are darknesses in life and there are lights, and you are one of the lights, the light of all lights. Bram Stoker for August 1897. That's kind of brilliant. Signed thing of Dracula. I like that. That's very, very cool.
It's locked.
Bram Stoker, by the way, is the author of Dracula, which is said to be the originator of the vampire story. The Blood Night Tragedy. Only a few of us remain after... Lord Redgrave, okay. Only a few of us remain after the shock of the Great Hunt. I was one of them. I remember how the sudden attack of the enemy caught us all by surprise. Blood was shed during those few nights. Some of us who survived chose to exile. I don't blame them, but I regret their lack of fortitude. For it is courage we need to protect the interest of the Empire. Courage we need to defend the values we stand for. May we all remember that William Marshall himself never lowered his head. My beloved Maker may be long gone now, but his presence is still among us. We keep a few drops of his sacred blood to remind us what we are and what we seek: honor, purity, and excellence. I had the privilege of speaking with the knight many times as his progeny and his friend. He spoke to me of the tears of angels, the holy beverage supposed to appease the inextinguishable hunger we all feel, and we never cease to search, even without knowing if such artifact exists. I admire his tenacity, and it is his tenacity, his indefectible belief in something bigger than us that will make us survive any future great hunt launched by our enemies. Ascalon we will rebuild, always, for it is an ideal. From the War of Ascalon by Lord Redgrave. Interesting. Judging from that writing, he doesn't seem a bad man. I mean, he may be a liar, but he doesn't seem a bad
Hello
man.
again, Johnathan. To what do I owe the pleasure of your visit?
Sorry to disturb you again, but could you spare me a few minutes?
Of course, my dear. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
Do you think we shall ever see better days? Or at least, better nights?
I know not, Johnathan. I have seen some horrid days in my long lifetime. Experience has taught me that one cannot outrun the fates.
When all of this is over, the war and the epidemic, we could leave the city for a while. Travel around Europe, you and I.
Traveling is always so complicated for us poor creatures of the night. But yes, I would be glad to travel the world with you, my dear.
Interesting.
Will you tell me your story one day, Lady Ashbury?
One of them, perhaps. I have had so many lives, Johnathan. Eternity may not be enough to relate them all.
She's ancient.
Concerning your investigation,
Yes?
are you truly seeking to identify my maker?
I cannot promise you anything, but yes. I am conducting some research of my own.
Do you know if the epidemic has affected many people in the West End?
I confess I've been more concerned by events in the East End. The wealthy have more efficient ways of dealing with infection.
But this is no common epidemic.
That is true. I must tell my daughter to stay at home for a few days. But the girl is stubborn and fiercely independent. Much like her mother.
Goodbye, Elizabeth.
Good, she moved. I can loot it. It's gonna steal your codeine, woman. Alright, I'm glad I did that, but we're really pushing for time. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut back to Swansea. Alright, I'm gonna endeavour and try not to talk through those loading screens. I can cut them out in post, but
So, time to visit the Ascalon Club.
not quite yet. It's actually pretty easy to get back to the hospital from here. I can just run this way. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm going to try not to speak through the loading screens. The reason is because Shadowplay actually is pausing the recordings at certain points during the... loading screen. It's actually pausing the recording, which I guess is kind of useful for my recording purposes, but it's annoying if I'm talking through a loading screen because it sort of chops up my voice. I noticed it in the previous episode. I'd never noticed it before, so I don't know if it's a new thing that Shadowplay is doing, or whether it's just something that's always happened and I've just got lucky and it hasn't cut me off in my previous recordings. So, if there's something in this recording that kind of gets cut up into a loading screen, I apologize for it.
When I get back, Oliver.
Luckily, my ramblings often aren't that important. So it's not going to make a huge difference one way or the other. I did say I was going to cut back to Swansea, but we're already here. It's going to be like a full hour episode, by the way. Which is kind of insane. Hey Swansea, what do you got to say?
Hello, Johnathan. Back from the city already? How is the situation over there?
Tense, to say the least.
I'm sure every obstacle will cede to your relentless determination. In the meantime, can I be of any help?
What can you tell me about the Great Hunt?
A sad story, my dear friend. Tragic, in fact. The Brotherhood was betrayed by some of its most trusted members.
I see, so that was the point at which the the Prewin actually became the Prewin. It was when they split between the Brotherhood of St. Stole, or whatever the fuck it's called. I can never remember the full name. But the Brotherhood split. We found from like a lore reading, it's actually split into the Prewin, and the Brotherhood stayed as their core principles, and the Prewin believe that you've got to kill all the vampires because they're a massive problem. So the actual 75 years ago, which isn't actually that long ago, is when the Prewin was actually formed. I was thinking they were formed a lot longer before that, but they weren't.
Why was it a tragedy?
Not only did the Guard of Prewin hunt down and kill most ancient vampires of England, they also destroyed or confiscated their possessions. Priceless knowledge was lost in just a few nights.
Interesting.
Tell me about the betrayal.
The founders of the Guard of Prewin stole precious and unique documents and reports from the Brotherhood's library when they left. They used them to identify and locate their next targets.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I was wondering how they chose
What
people.
can you tell me about Lord Redgrave?
Oh, the legendary founder of the Ascalon Club. I'm afraid I cannot help you with that, Johnathan.
So you do know him?
All the Brotherhood knows about him is highly confidential. He is dangerously intimate with the royal family and Britain's inner circles.
Are you afraid of him? Is he that dangerous?
No, but since most ancient vampires were killed or fled England during the Great Hunt of 1850, he may be the oldest British vampire. A myth in the flesh, so to speak.
Interesting. He may be. I don't think he is.
Did you know that Lady Ashbury is an artist? And rather a good one.
Well, actually, yes. I attended an exhibition of her paintings before the war. Beautiful landscapes and stunning portraits. I wish I had purchased one.
Perhaps we could go to her next exhibition, you and I.
What a beautiful idea, Johnathan. Did you know she told me once she had been a model for famous painters? But she never told me which ones.
I shall return later. Thank you, Edgar.
Interesting. Alright, so that's going to be it for this episode. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time, where we are going to go explore the entirety of the West End, and then go to the Shadow Cabinet. There's actually a hideout here, which is good to know. I think next episode, I'm going to go into West End, go into the hideout, level up there, and then go around, explore everything. In fact, maybe I'll explore everything, then level up, then go to the Shadow Cabinet. I think that's probably my course of action. But that's going to be it. That was a long-ass episode. Pretty much smack bang on an hour. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.